Hello everyone, it's Gary from bigspud.co.uk and I hope you're doing really well. Today I'd really like to talk about my recipe for beef dripping bread rolls. I came up with this about 5 years ago when I went to a fantastic dinner showcasing beef from nose to tail. And whilst there was beautiful fillet steaks and there was beautiful oxtail and other wonderful things, the course that stayed with me was the bread rolls. These bread rolls had been layered or laminated with beef dripping. So every time you took a mouthful, you got this wonderful savoury flavour throughout, and it was absolutely fantastic. It really stayed with me. So here's my ode to those beef dripping rolls. They were made by Chef John Jones, and I've had the pleasure with working with him a couple of times. A really creative chef. Dripping is the fat from cows, much like lard is from pigs. And although it sounds like a weird ingredient, you can buy blocks of it. Just like butter, you'll find it with the butter in your supermarkets. Very inexpensive, very easy to find. Basically, we're making a simple bread roll recipe to start with, and then laminating or layering beef dripping into the dough. Let's start with getting our bread roll recipe done. Start by getting the yeast going. Add 7 grams, that's usually 1 sachet of yeast, to 200 millilitres of warm water. Give it a little mix. Let it stand to one side while you get everything else together. In a large bowl, mix together 300 grams of strong bread flour and a teaspoon each of salt and sugar. Add the yeasty water and start bringing it all together. Once you've created a sticky mass, set a timer for 10 minutes and get to work kneading it. Try not to add too much extra flour to your work surface, as it will change the composition of the bread. Get to work kneading it. There's no wrong way to do it, but you're looking to stretch the dough out and exercise the gluten locked into the flour. Give it a good working out. You should certainly feel like you've done it. Once you've had your 10 minutes, cover it loosely and leave it somewhere to prove until it's doubled in size. Usually this takes about an hour. Happened to take me 90 minutes this time on this particularly cool day. Once it's doubled in size, flour the surface and knock it back. Roll it into a long rectangle. By the way, I really recommend these plastic dough scrapers. Very inexpensive and really handy for moving dough about and getting and scraping all of the bits off your counter. I'll leave a link on how you can purchase one down below. Next, get your block of dripping. I recommend grabbing it straight from the fridge and wearing rubber gloves. The fat just works its way into your fingertips and doesn't shift for ages otherwise. Use a box grater and grate about 50 grams of dripping over your dough rectangle. Fold it over in thirds, then in thirds again. Roll it out into another rectangle, then grate over further 50 grams of dripping. Fold over in thirds again. All these folds, every time you're folding, it's creating wonderful layers that will expand during cooking. Cut your dough into even pieces. I managed 8 here. Then leave them somewhere out of a draft to prove once more for about 30 minutes. You'll notice they go puffy and get a sheen on them. Put your oven on 180 degrees C while you wait, so the oven is nice and hot when it's time to bake. After half an hour, brush the rolls with an egg wash and pop them into the oven. They'll need to bake for about 20 minutes, but take them out at this time and tap the bottom. They should sound hollow. If it is still not quite sounding like that, pop them back in the oven for another couple of minutes and try again. Once they're done, leave them to cool on a wire rack if you can, and then eat them same day if possible. They will keep to the next day in an airtight container, but the savoury, satisfying flavour from these rolls makes them irresistible, and they just won't last. Beef dripping hardly gets used anymore, but it's a fantastic ingredient. If you've got any recipes featuring beef dripping, let me know in the comments below. If you did try that recipe, let me know how you get on. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.